Is this not the most beautiful day? Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I dressed so warm because I wanted to wear my new warm shirt. Cuddle Duds, not Be Soulfish brand. I'm not trying to, that's not a shameless plug. This is not my material. Speaking of shameless plugs, Cindy, where are you? There you are. Here, just before I forget. Take these home with you. I mean, bring them back, but take them home today. Yeah, either way. Sorry, guys. All right, so how are we feeling this morning? Is everyone feeling as happy as I am? I'm so happy this morning. I'm feeling wonderful. I'm so happy you guys are all here. Like, literally, I'm giddy. I was on the way here, and I was like, golly, it cannot be this pretty this morning, can it really? As we move into this week, Thanksgiving week, yay! So for today, I would love us to, let's focus on things that we're grateful for this morning's practice. This positive energy just flowing all around us with the sun and everyone here and all good things, and family is in town. Maybe we're not with family. Some of us can't travel because of all the craziness in the world, but hopefully you can connect some way. Maybe it's, I know some friends of mine up in Ohio, they're on curfew and they're doing Thanksgiving via Zoom, so they're going to have their little iPads up for everyone. So hopefully we can find some ways to connect with our loved ones this week and try to make the holidays somewhat normal as we can in the times that we're dealing with. So for this morning's playlist, it's a very gentle, quiet, calming playlist. So I would like to focus on like calming the mind and just thinking about positive things. That's our goal for this morning. That's where I want us to leave class this morning, with a big old smile on your face. So let's go ahead and start in a comfortably seated position while I find my list. I do apologize in advance if I have any technical difficulties. I've been having a lot lately. Today I'll be grateful if my phone works. All right, guys, go ahead and sit comfortably, whether that's cross-legged position. It could be legs out in front. It may be half lotus. It may be full lotus. Whatever your choice is, try to find some comfort there. And close your eyes. Start to slow the breath. Feel the warmth of the sun and listen to the sound of the waves. Even though we're comfortably seated, I do want you to sit up a little bit tall, lift the chest so that our heart is shining open, our chest is open, and our spine is nice and straight. Our head is pointing up towards the sky. Your hands can rest comfortably on your knees, whether your palms are facing down and that feels comfortable. Roll those shoulders down and back, or you may want to take the back of the hands to the knees and take the palms facing up. If you're doing that, keep those hands nice and open for good things coming your way this week, which I know they are. And let's just breathe and be here in the moment. begin to open up your eyes, releasing the shoulders, relaxing down. And what we're going to start with this morning is a really big inhale. The arms come all the way up. Reach all the way up towards the sky. Bring the hands together. And we're going to take the hands down to heart center, taking those thumbs directly to the chest. Taking a moment here, actively being grateful, having that gratitude for your bodies, for waking up this morning and taking you here to class. That's already, you guys have already had that accomplishment early on a Saturday morning. So good for you. Again, we're going to inhale. Arms come all the way up. Exhale, bring the hands down to a cactus arm position. So we're bringing the elbows down. We say cactus arms in yoga, but you may call it field goal position as well if you're into football. We're going to take the chest open, lift the chest open just a little bit more, bring those arms back slightly, and your gaze comes slightly up. We're opening up the heart here. Also opening up those chest muscles, pushing those arms back maybe just a little bit more. Continue to breathe here. Exhale deep. Inhale, arms come back up. This time we're going to take the arms over. The left hand's going to come to the right knee. Big twist here. Using that back arm to push the spine up a little bit straighter, a little bit taller. Take your gaze over that back shoulder. Starting to twist through the inside, twisting through the spine. Think about our bodies being a little bit of a sponge when we take these positions. We're wringing out all those toxins, wringing out any negativity. Also stretching the spine, waking up the bones and the muscles. Inhale, arms back all the way up. We're going to exhale back to that field goal or cactus arm position here. Very technical terms this morning, yeah. Big inhale. Exhale, stretch those arms back a little bit deeper. Open up that chest. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, take the right hand to the left knee. And it's okay if you go opposite direction than me. I should not use left and right. You go whichever side feels good for you. Use that back arm to push yourself up a little bit taller. Continue to breathe here. Inhale back up, arms all the way. We're going to repeat that entire thing. So we come back to cactus arms, open up that chest. Each time we come back to this position, opening up the palms really wide, opening up the chest, take the gaze up towards the sky. As you exhale, drop those shoulders back a little bit further. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, left hand, right knee, twist. Pushing yourself up nice and tall, gaze over that back shoulder. Inhale, arms up to center. Exhale, field goal, cactus arms. Arms come back, shoulders push back, elbows push back, gaze comes up towards the sky. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist. Up back to center. This time, instead of field goal, we're going to actually take it to a seated forward fold. So we're going to bring the hands, palms face forward. We come down forward, stretching those hands as far in the front as we can. Here you want to focus on the stretch that's right underneath your arms, almost the armpit area, the sides of the chest. If you're not feeling that, maybe try to stretch the hands out just a little bit further. Continuing to breathe here. Breathe deep. Your gaze should be down towards the floor, the patio. Maybe saying hello to some ants walking by. From here, we're going to stay nice and low. Keep your bellies low to the ground and then walk the hands over to the side. For me, I'm taking it over to the right. And I'm going to feel the stretch through the left side of my body, staying nice and low. Keeping the left hip or the opposite hip down on the ground. So don't reach so far that you start to feel that hip lift. You want to push down into the ground, grounding through your sits bones on both sides. Sits bones, just a nice way for saying your buns. Walk the hands back to center. Just in case anyone was confused. Hands reach forward, nice and long. Keep your gaze down. So instead of looking up at me, I don't want you to be straining the neck. Keep your gaze down so we have a nice neutral neck, and then walk your hands over to the opposite side, stretching through the other side, keeping that hip down on the ground. Big inhales and exhales, sinking a little bit deeper into that stretch as you exhale. Now from here, instead of walking it back to center, the arm that's on the back, the arm towards the back is going to plant the hand down. We're going to open up the front arm, open up the chest. Nice. Continuing with that side stretch. Now you may have your palm only on the ground. That's okay. Main thing is keep that hip down. That opposite hip should still be down on the ground. If you want to try coming down to the forearm, that's wonderful to try. Just make sure that hip stays down. Gaze is up under the armpit, looking up towards the sky. We're going to sweep that top arm forward. Nice sweeping motion. Come all the way forward. Keep it nice and fluid. Switch sides. Warming up that spine. We're getting nice big circles here, nice big flows. Open up that chest as much as you can. And sweep forward again. Switching to the other side. This time we're going to sweep right back to neutral center position. Sitting up nice and tall, uncross the legs, take the legs out in front. How are we feeling, guys? Spine is waking up a little bit, muscles waking up. Good. So we're going to do lots of twists today. We're going to do lots of hip openers by request. I won't say who. So if you're feeling hip after this, I won't tell you who to blame. Inhale, arms go all the way up. I always do hip openers, I'm just kidding. Exhale, forward fold with a nice straight flat back. So you want to make sure that you're not crushing your belly here. Keep room to breathe, keep room for the organs. And it's okay if you're not forward folding all the way and grabbing those feet. It's early in the morning. Give yourselves a little bit of a break here. Don't be so hard on your body. Maybe your hands come down to the ground beside you instead of all the way down to your shins or even your toes. Keep that back flat. Inhale, slowly roll it on up. Drag those fingers right along the legs as you come up to a nice straight spine. We're going to take the right leg and plant the foot over by the left thigh. I say left thigh, that may mean calf more to you, and that's okay. So what I want you to do is take the foot as close to the body as you can without having to lean back. If you're having to lean back, then take it a little bit less far. So bring it where it feels comfortable for you. Reach the arms out nice and wide, sitting up nice and tall. Give that knee a giant hug. Yes, we are loving our knee this morning. Actively pushing down through that opposite leg, okay? So push that left leg down into the patio or down into your mat or the ground, wherever you are. If you're at home, into the floor. Being cautious here to not round the back. So as we hug, a lot of times we want to lean forward, bring that chin down. Don't do that. Sit up tall, lift that chin. Nice job. You can stay right here, continue hugging the knee. If you want to, take it a little bit deeper. If you want to go for a bind this morning, continuing with our chest openers and our twisting, you have the option to lift the right arm. This is going to get a little tricky. Ready? The right arm comes up. We take the elbow of the right arm inside the right leg, and then we wrap it around. So you can go right here, or you can take the left hand and bring it around back. Try to get the fingers together. This is an option, okay? This is not a requirement. I gotta give some options, right? You're all looking at me like, what?
Exactly.
And once you get here, if you do reach those hands in the back, lift the chest up. You're gonna feel a tremendous stretch in that right shoulder. If it's painful, let go of your fingers. Come back to center. There you go. Slowly release the hands. Let's not slingshot those arms back to front and center. Come on up. Both arms come up, and we release the right leg straight out. Good job. Hands come down. Roll the shoulders down and back. Especially if you went for that bind, you got to release that shoulder. Let's take the left foot in. So again, that left foot planting next to the right shin or knee or thigh, wherever feels good, but you're still sitting up nice and tall. Stretch the arms out really wide and give that left knee a big hug because we don't want it to feel left out. We got to hug both sides. Actively pushing the right leg down into the ground at the same time. So we're not getting lazy on that right side. We're still giving some work there. We can stay right here, or you have the option to extend the left arm nice and tall. Bring the left elbow inside of the left knee. Then we turn and twist, reaching around back. If you're able to touch the fingers, lift the chest. You may find that one side is a lot easier than the other. For me, this is my easier side. My right shoulder is very, 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 very tight. And that's okay. It's just the way our bodies are. We usually work one side harder than the other. And it's okay to laugh at these options. Laughter is good for the soul. We want to laugh. I want you guys smiling. I don't want you grimacing. Slowly release those hands. Come on back to center. Arms come up. Left leg releases. Point those toes. Inhale, big. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe noticing after those twists that you can get just a little bit deeper in your forward fold. Maybe not. That's okay too. So I want you to remember that position we were just in, not the bind, but the foot by the hip, because we're going to take it to a whole other level in a little while. Slowly roll on up. A little bit of playfulness this morning, a little bit of trying some things that may seem or feel crazy, but why not try, right? Let's bring the soles of the feet together. We really do want to open up the hips for that fun move that I'm alluding to here. Bring the heels as close to the body as you can. And here we have the option to put a little bit of pressure on the knees. One thing I want to note in this pose, butterfly pose here, is that a lot of times we want to lean, our body wants to lean forward into this. We will do a forward fold, that's different. When we're sitting here, I want you to focus on sitting up tall. As you start to sit up tall, you're going to feel some adjustment here. You may feel your knees come up a little bit more. You also may feel the opposite. You may feel your body trying to rock backwards, and that's all about the hips here, okay? So we all have different hip structure, not just muscles, bone structure as well. Some of us are going to be way up here. Some of us are going to be way down here. We're all very, very different, so you're going to feel different things in this pose, but I want you to try to sit up nice and tall. That's a key thing here. Once you're sitting up nice and tall, now that's a good option. Then you may want to put some pressure on those knees to try to stretch the hips open a little bit more. It's completely optional here. But I don't want you pushing on the hips while leaning forward, because then we're shrinking that distance in the hips here. There is a method to the madness. Releasing the knees if you're putting pressure there. Wrap those fingers around the toes. Big inhale, chest is nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold with a nice straight back. So you're reaching the belly up over those feet, leaning forward. Slowly roll the spine. Now we can curve that back, that nice flat back, curve it up and roll on up. Head is the last to come all the way up to the top. Exhale there. Good job. Release those hips. We're going to take wide leg straddle here. Continue stretching through these lower body joints, because we did do those shoulder stretches in that bind if you went for it. So now we'll stretch the arms as well. But from here, take the legs to a comfortably wide position. You should feel a little bit of a stretch in the inner thigh, but not so much that you're feeling pain. Just a nice little stretch here. And from here, we're going to walk the hands center. We're pretty much going to follow through that flow that we did when we had our legs crossed. We're just going to do it wide leg straddle. And we'll be stretching some different muscles. So this may mean palms are out for you, or maybe even way up here. That's fine. Wherever you feel that pull, that stretch without pain, I want you to stop before you get to a painful position. Doesn't matter how close or how far your legs are or how low to the ground your belly is. Wherever you are is exactly where your body is telling you need to be right now. Big inhale here. As you exhale, maybe you stretch those fingers just a tiny bit further. Big maybe. From here, we're going to walk those hands over to the right side. You can keep both hands in front if that feels better for you. You also have the option of taking the hands on either side of the leg. It just depends on how deep of a twist you want to go. And same thing here. You can stay up tall or you can fold down. We have options, people. We have options. So when we take this twist, we're not only feeling the stretch from the inner thigh, but you may start to feel a stretch in the back of the right leg as well, the glute area, the hip. That's normal, that's good. Again, you want to stretch not so far that you're having pain. Just stretching. Let's go ahead and walk those hands back center. Pausing for a moment in the center for a breath. And then exhale, walk the hands all the way over to the other side. Same thing, you can keep both hands on the inside here. If you want to stretch and twist a little bit deeper, take one hand to either side of the leg and forward fold over that leg. Same thing as our bind, it's very common that one leg is going to be a little bit easier to forward fold over. Feel more stretch on one side than you do on the other. And just as we did earlier, instead of coming back to center, we're going to lift that front arm all the way up, open up the chest, big side body stretch. Try to take your gaze up under that armpit so that we're not curled over here. We're opening up the chest. I know that's hard. You're going to feel that stretch through the back this time. We're going to sweep that arm forward. Using the hands, walk over to the other side. Stretch. You can really feel it in the spine when we go side to side, loosening up those muscles. Continue to breathe here. We take it forward again. Use those hands to walk yourselves over, keeping the core nice and tight to support the back as we flow from side to side. And again, take it back. All the way up. Love hearing the sound of the waves crashing in between songs. Come on back to center. Oh, it's a tough life we live here doing yoga by the beach, yeah? Speaking of gratitude. So from here, guys, we're going to bend the right leg. We're going to come into half pigeon. So however you need to get there, take your time getting there. The easy transition, well, I shouldn't say easy. The flow transition is just to lift the body and twist the leg. Okay, so we're coming this way. But if you need to completely get up and get there, that's fine too. What I want you to do is focus on having those hips, both hips, facing down towards the ground. If you were in Wednesday's night class, we brought blankets as props. This is a great pose where a blanket can come in handy, where you can place a pillow or a blanket at home up under the hip, so that way you're not sinking down as deep. Keep in mind too that you can bend this front leg more. Your goal is to get it parallel with the front. You also have the option of bending the back leg if that's too much, okay? So go wherever your body needs to take you this morning. As long as those hips are facing down, and the back toes released. We don't want active toes. Let's drop the toes. There you go. And release. Try to sink down into it. Let's try to get comfortable here. I know that's not as easy as it sounds, but it's where I want to get you to, right? So that most of the time we're in this position and we're holding our breath and we're holding ourselves up like, when is she going to tell us to let this go? I want you to release that. Try to release through the hips. We hold, especially women, apologizing for the men that are here, but especially women, we hold a lot of tension and stress in our hips. So it's very important to learn how to release this tension so we can be better to those men, right? So we can release that stress. From here, I want you to take the fingertips to the ground and then push. Inhale, push all the way up, finding a nice little back bend here. Back to that chest opener. So opening up the chest towards the sky, taking the head back with you slightly. You're going to feel a little bit of a stretch in that back leg probably, in that back hip flexor. That's normal here. As you exhale, lower down, coming into a forward fold over that front leg, adjusting the position of the leg if you need to find that comfort. Sleeping half pigeon here. Nap time. Take a little rest. Releasing those muscles, guys. Don't squeeze them tight. Release, release, release. Continue with deep breaths here. Your hips will love you for this later, even though you may hate me right now. One more big breath here. On your next inhale, use those hands to push your torso back up. Not all the way to the back bend, just up to a comfortable position. From here, we're going to use the hands to activate the back toe. We're going to push ourselves up and we're going to bring the right foot back to meet the left and come into a plank position. So hands come down here, activate that toe. We lift the torso, bring the leg back. Woo. Let's walk those hands all the way back towards the feet, coming into a forward fold. Big hamstring stretch here. Let the torso hang. Let gravity do its work. Crown of the head facing down towards the ground. It's okay if the knees are bent. We can bend the knees here as long as I want you to feel a big stretch to the back of the leg. If you're bending the knees and not feeling the stretch, try to straighten until you get to a point that you feel that big stretch. Slowly roll the torso all the way up, one vertebrae at a time, very, very slowly. Why didn't you guys tell me I had dog hair all over my pants? I didn't see that until forward fold. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Reaching for the sky, hands come together. Take the hands down to heart center. Close the eyes for a moment here. Grounding the feet into your mat, patio. Just take a moment here. Being grateful that you made it from half pigeon all the way back up to standing. From here, we're going to inhale the arms all the way back up. Bring those hands together. We're going to take it over to the side bend. We're all about some side bends this morning. Inhale back to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale back to center. For anyone that's facing the parking lot, take a moment to turn around, face the ocean, bring the hands back to heart center. I want you to feel the warmth of the sun on your face. That's why I'm asking you to turn around. Close your eyes one more time. Push your feet down into the ground. Feel this grounding position. With your hands to your heart center, the thumbs are touching your chest. Roll the shoulders down and back and open up the chest. So we're lifting our chest and take your gaze slightly up towards the sky, towards the sun. Hold here for just a moment. Deep breaths. Let that warmth of the sun sink all the way through to your core. Feel the energy of the sun. Breathe it in. Great job. Open up the eyes. You can go back to whichever position you were or where you like to be. Inhale, the arms come all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Walk the hands all the way back out to a plank position. From here, we're going to take the left leg forward. So we come back to half pigeon, opposite side now. So we bring that left leg up and then lower the hips back down. Again, you have the option of bending the front knee. You can also bend the back knee. That's going to release a little bit of stress on the hips here. Whichever way you are, whichever bent position or straight leg position you have, make sure those hips are facing down towards the ground, down towards the patio. And this is where you want to hold yourself up, right? I can see you all like clenching your teeth, like, this is so relaxing. Exhale, release those hips. Try to release the hips. Feeling that stretch in the hip flexor on that back leg, we're going to take fingertips to the mat. Inhale, big, and then push the torso up and back. Think about a little back bend, a seated back bend. The chest comes up, the head goes with it. Breathe here, don't hold the breath. On your next exhale, forward fold, slowly coming over that front leg. Maybe bringing the forearms down, maybe bringing your head all the way down. Little nap time, half pigeon nap time here. Really take that moment to rest. Slowly start to rise on up, taking the hands to either side to lift the torso. Nap time is over. We activate the palms here. We tuck the back toe. We're going to bring that left foot back to meet the right back into plank position here. From here, we're going to take it to a down dog position. So we're going to pike on up. We lift the hips up towards the sky. We push the heels down towards the ground. We really engage the fingers and the palms, everything pushing down into the mat. Your gaze is through the back legs. Inhale, take it forward, high plank. Exhale, take it all the way down, chaturanga. Come through for cobra. Elbows stay bent, thighs are down on the ground. Tops of the feet are resting on the mat. Your gaze is lifted. Big inhale here. Exhale, widen the knees, push the hips back, child's pose. Stretch those arms far, take the head down towards the mat. Slowly walk those hands back to center, coming up to seated or kneeling position. How are we feeling, guys? Everyone good? All right, we're gonna come to seated. Remember I mentioned we're gonna have a little playful pose? Now's the time. So we're gonna come back to center, legs out straight. So the reason we did some of those hip openers was to get us exactly where we are right now. Don't think we've ever gone this far to the pose we're about to do, but I want you to try just because it's fun. I can hear you already. I haven't even told you what we're doing. I know, all the anticipation. So what you're going to do is start by bringing that foot in like we did earlier. And this may be your stopping point today, and that's perfectly okay. This may be as far as you want to go. But what we're going to aim for, pun intended, is bow and arrow, right? So literally thinking about a bow, you're going to take the hand to the foot, and you're going to aim to pull the foot up. That's not where it ends though. This hand reaches for the other foot. We pull that hip back. I told you it'd be fun, right? So reaching one arm forward, one arm back It's a little bit of a balance challenge here. You're using the core, you gotta pull. Again, I said this is an option too, right? You can stay right here, but go for it. What you're really doing is you're pulling this hip back. You're opening up that foot. But at the same time, the challenge is reaching forward with that other hand. That's where the challenge comes into play. If that's too much of a reach, just stretch the arm forward. Pull the foot back as far as you can. Main focus being that. But think of your foot, your right foot being the bow. You're pulling back. Now you get where that aim joke came from, right? Hold here, one more breath. Don't hold your breath here. You want to breathe through this. As you exhale, pull that foot back a little bit further. One more big inhale. And as you exhale, slowly release. Coming back to center. Ooh, big hip opener there. As we come to center, rock those hips side to side so that we find that centerness, we find that balance. And we're going to inhale here. Arms come all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Noticing maybe we're getting a little bit deeper than we did the first time we forward folded. Think about all the hip openers and all the spine openers that we've been doing this morning. That has a lot to do with our forward fold. A lot of times we think so much about the hamstrings in our forward fold, and certainly that does play a big part, but it's not the only thing. Granted, we did stretch our hamstrings as well. Roll back on up, seated position. Bow and arrow on the other side. Remember that thing I said about one side being easier than the other? Yeah, that's very true. So what may have been hard on the last side might be easy for you on this side, and vice versa. So just keep that in mind as you try. Let's bring that left foot up here, starting there. Are we ready? Big inhale. Grabbing the bottom of the foot, we're going to pull the knee back towards our ear. We're trying to get that foot to the ear like it's a bow, and then reaching forward for the other side. This is actually my easier side. Yeah. My left hip is much more open than my right. I'm realizing this today. So pull back. Again, if you can't reach the foot, just stretch the hands. That's okay too. Inhale. Exhale, pull back another inch. You guys are all wishing you had actual bow and arrows to shoot at me right now. It's a Thanksgiving themed class. I probably shouldn't say that. I just insulted someone. Sorry, it was a joke. Exhale, release the leg forward. I'll have to bleep that part out of the video. Oh, release that hip. Oh my goodness. Shake side to side. That is a very, very intense hip opener. You know, I always say like these are great moves to do while you're watching TV. That's not one. It's a great one to try though. Your husband comes home and you'll be like, what are you doing? Very weird. Inhale, no more yoga for you. Arms come all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Even deeper this time. Just breathe here. Slowly start to roll it on up. Maybe time for a water break here if you want to take a sip of water. Just take a little resting break, whatever feels good for you. Oh my goodness, this class is flying by. Sure what kind of bug that is, but he's saying good morning. Did you hear that? Stay on that side of the fence. All right, hips are open. We're going to take it all the way down to our backs now. We're going to continue with some lower body stretches, lots of lower body love today. And we're also going to work our way into an optional back bend. We did that a few weeks ago, I believe. Or was it last week or the week before? Last week, Saturday, we did? Oh, good. I'm consistent. So dropping on down, let's hug the knees into the chest. What we're doing here is we're preparing our spine, because when we do our bridge or wheel pose, we take our spine in the opposite direction. So this little move here, we're giving ourselves a warm-up, a little break. From here, let's take the left leg down to the ground and take the right leg up. We're going to try to reach for the back of that right leg. At the same time, I want you to push the left leg down into the ground. So we don't want that left leg lifting. We want it flat on the ground, and just lift the right leg, pull the right leg towards the head as much as you can from here. Probably feeling a nice big stretch through the hamstring here. The back of the leg is where you should be feeling it in that right leg. You can bend the knee if you need to. If it's too intense to have it straight, feel free for that bend. I want you to take the left hand, reach for the outside of the right foot. Again, you can bend if you need to. And then pull the leg slightly over to the left. You're going to really intensify that hamstring stretch right here. You don't have to go far. It doesn't take much. Just that little angle. Continue to breathe. Don't hold your breath. I even find myself doing that. Back to center here. We're going to take the peace fingers of the right hand, grab for the big toe on the right foot, and then take the left hand out to the left side and lower the right leg down. Again, keep the left leg down on the ground. Don't let that left leg lift. If you feel the left leg lifting, bring the right leg back up more. We want to keep those hips down on the ground. Think about pushing the back of the spine, the lower part of the back, into the mat to keep you there. Inhale back to center. Releasing the right leg all the way down. Take the left leg up. Push the right leg into the mat, into the ground. Left leg lifts, and we reach for the back of that left leg. Again, the left leg can be bent. It's okay if you're here. If you want to try to straighten it, you'll feel a deeper stretch through that hamstring. If your leg is shaky, that's good. That means you're working hard. It means you have more to release. Let it go, let it shake. Taking the right hand to the outside of the left foot. Maybe straightening that leg or pushing it to be as straight as you can, and then slightly bring it over to the right side. Only another inch or two is all you really need. You should feel that intense hamstring stretch. My goodness, on this side. You can use the opposite hand to actually push on that leg to intensify, but only if that feels good. I don't want you to get to a point that it hurts. And then slowly come back to center. Take the left peace fingers, grab the left big toe. Right arm comes out to the right, and the left leg comes out to the left. Keep the right hip down on the ground. Push the low back into the mat. Try not to have any space between the low back and the floor. If you're feeling that lift, bring the left leg back up. Feeling that inner thigh stretch. Inhale, bring it back to center. Lower the left leg all the way down. Arms overhead, full body, big stretch here. Reach, 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 reach. And then bringing the hands back down by the side, we're going to plant the feet and we're going to come into bridge pose. So really firming the feet into the ground. A couple things to note here. When we lift into bridge, if you feel hamstring cramps or knots or too much hamstring work, bring the soles of the feet, bring the heels closer to your bum. That's going to alleviate the hamstring, a little bit less pressure on the hamstring. If you want more hamstring work, step the feet out a little bit further. So just depending on what your body is looking for this morning, you find that position for your feet. Taking the hands down by the side, you can push into the ground. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift those hips right on up. Keeping space between the chin and the chest so that you can breathe openly. You're pushing those hips. Try to imagine a straight line between your knees, running through your hips all the way to your shoulders. Continue breathing here. exhale, slowly lower the hips all the way down to the ground. Releasing the back so that you're pushing the low back into the mat. Take a few breaths here. Let's get those feet starting to ground again. We bring the hands down by the sides if they moved. Palms pushing into the ground. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift on up. Pushing the shoulder blades into the ground, lifting the hips up. Find that nice straight line or push for that straight line. If you'd like to take it a little bit deeper, you can take the hands underneath the body, clasp the hands together, roll the shoulder blades together. It gives you a little bit more lift. Again, pushing those heels, pushing the toes even into the ground. Lift a little bit higher. Continue breathing. Don't hold the breath. And then slowly exhale, releasing all the way down. Push the low back into the mat, reversing that curve of the spine. So basically, you're pulling the belly button in when you do that, almost tucking the pelvis and taking a nice little release on the spine. Opposite flexion that we just did. We're going to do this one more time. On your last lift, I want you to take the option, if you would like to, go for wheel pose if you want to give it a whirl. To do wheel, we're going to do the same position with the feet. You're going to take the hands close to the shoulders actually, and the elbows come straight up towards the sky. You're going to inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift on up. Continue to breathe here, don't hold the breath. Hips are pushing up, same exact motion that we did in bridge. One more big breath here. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Hug the knees into the chest. If anybody wants to work on that after class, I will be happy to stick around and spot you, show you some different supports that you can do to loosen up the spine that way. From here, I want you to roll on over to your tummy. Dropping the head down to the mat. One cheek down on the palms, on the back of the hands, I mean, not the palms. That made no sense, sorry. Close your eyes and take a moment here. From here, we're going to plant the hands. The palms come to the shoulder area, and we're going to lift on up into cobra. So the top of the feet are resting on the mat. The top of the feet are relaxed. We lift on up. Back to that back bend position. Don't worry, we'll go the other way in just a moment. Exhale, lower all the way down. Take the opposite cheek to the mat. So we cross the arms back and front, and we rest on the other side. Come down by the side one more time, or by the shoulders, I should say. Push those fingers and the palms in. We lift up for cobra again. This time, instead of lowering back down, we're going to push the hips back, widen the knees, take it to child's pose. So all that back bending we want to reverse. We're going to take it in the other direction here. Stretch those arms out nice and wide. Take the forehead down to the mat. From here, we're going to take it to all fours. Stack those shoulders over the wrists. Give it a big rounded spine curve, tucking the chin to the chest. And then inhale, drop the belly down, lift the gaze on up. One more time, exhale, bring the chin to the chest, round the back. And then inhale, take that belly down. From here, we're gonna come back to a laying position. We're gonna take it all the way to our backs. Because you have made it to final Shavasana, guys. Good work. Finding some comfort on your mat. Roll down onto your back. Let the legs fall out to the sides. So let those feet just rest. Taking your legs about hip width apart. And then bring the hands down by your sides, palms facing up. If this is uncomfortable for anyone, please feel free to take Shavasana in a seated position or even a standing position. I want you to be comfortable wherever you are as you finish this class as we wind down. Close your eyes. Start to relax the toes, wiggling those toes and the ankles. Let those muscles just melt into the mat. Letting the thighs relax, the hips relax, the core, the shoulders, the arms, the neck, the head and the mind. Clear your mind and find some rest. With some essential oil, some lavender oil for you. If you prefer none, please place one hand over your heart. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and toes, keeping your eyes closed but coming back to a wakeful state. A few deep breaths, a few more moments to relax in the sun. And then when you feel ready, roll on over to your right side. The right side going to bring us energy for the day ahead. Take a few breaths here. when you feel ready, meet me in a comfortably seated position. You can keep your eyes closed as we wind down the class if you'd like to continue with that relaxation. We're going to inhale, the arms come all the way up, reaching tall for the sky. And then exhale, bring the hands together and take the hands down to the heart center. Touching those thumbs to the chest, find that mind-body connection, that hand-heart connection. And sitting up nice and tall, keeping your chest lifted and open. As you wind down today's class, take a moment to remember all that we are grateful for, finding gratitude in even the littlest things. I'm grateful that in all the craziness of the world around us, we can still come together this way and practice together. I'm grateful for this beautiful weather that we have today in November, at the end of November. We're so lucky and grateful for that. And I'm grateful for every single one of you for showing up and being here with me this morning. I cannot thank you enough. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend and a beautiful Thanksgiving. Namaste. Thanks, guys.